Do you really need an attorney after a car crash? Maybe, probably, but it depends. Hi, I'm David McDivitt. Let me explain. You've been hurt in a car crash, and you might be asking yourself, do I really need an attorney? I get it. A lot of people are really hesitant to call a lawyer. Maybe you're hoping the system will just take care of things, or you don't want to sue anybody, or maybe you just want to move on and put it behind you. Do you need a lawyer? Well, it depends, but a good lawyer will help you understand if it makes sense to go ahead and hire a lawyer. If you've been injured and the crash wasn't your fault, having a lawyer could be one of the best things that you can do for your future. Oftentimes, insurance companies are going to try to pay as little as possible for their personal injury claims. That's where a good personal injury lawyer steps in to help make sure that clients' harms and losses are fairly paid for. The insurance companies are set up to earn money on premiums and pay out as little as possible on claims, and they keep the middle for themselves. They want that middle to be as big as possible. If you try to handle it just by yourself with an insurance company, remember, you are merely a claim number to them. Keep in mind, their incentive is to just provide you as little money as possible. A good personal injury attorney's incentive is to try to get you as much money as possible. I'm not trying to rail against insurance companies. They're vital. We need them. The problem for our clients is, in many instances, the insurance companies are just trying to pay as little as possible. Our clients are not going to get the fair compensation for their harms and losses if they don't have a good personal injury attorney working to ensure that they're adequately covered, that they're getting the medical care paid for, and at the end of it, that there's a recovery that's fair. The result you get with a lawyer is far greater than the result you get without a lawyer. In fact, insurance company statistics even say that people who hire a lawyer tend to net, after attorney's fees, 3 times more than they would get if they tried to resolve the claim without a lawyer. So when I say it like that, it seems, well, it's a no-brainer. I need a lawyer. And many instances, that's true. You do need a lawyer. But there are some times where you don't. And a good lawyer is going to tell you, is this the kind of case where I think, as a lawyer, I can't add any value? There are some instances, though, where it doesn't make sense to hire a lawyer. If the case is just a low-value claim, you're not that hurt, it may be a situation where the attorney's not able to add a lot of value. Frankly, more often than not, I'm called by people who have been in a car crash, but because of perhaps they're not injured, or maybe they were at fault, it doesn't make sense for them to hire me. I want somebody to be satisfied with the work that I do. But if I don't think that I'm going to get a satisfactory result for them, I will tell them up front, and I won't take their case. Why? Because I'm not going to add any value. So look, bottom line, do you need a lawyer? I think most of the time, if you've been injured, the crash wasn't your fault, yes, at a minimum, call a lawyer, get some advice. We're always advocating for what we do for our clients. We try to give messages to clients every way possible. But do you always need a lawyer? Not always. It depends. But if you've been in a crash, it wasn't your fault, you're injured, it makes sense to at least call a lawyer and help get an evaluation of whether or not the lawyer feels they can add value to your claim. And a good lawyer is not going to charge you for that initial call. So you walk away knowing you have a claim, or maybe, you know what, it's not worth hiring that lawyer. Again, oftentimes it is. I keep saying that because I really want you to call us. Yeah. Hopefully, if you've been in a crash, this video helps you understand a little bit more about whether or not it makes sense for you to call a lawyer. If you've got any more questions, feel free to DM me or put something in the comments below. Thanks.